Hello, everybody, and welcome to this live stream with myself, Harry Thomas, and Alan Caylow. Say
What's
hello,
up?
guys.
Hello, how you doing?
So we are here today to talk about count them, three original Pixar movies: Ratatouille, Wall-E, and Inside Out. These films are not directly related whatsoever, although they're made by the same studio, Pixar and Disney. But other than that, they are not remotely linked, unless you believe the Pixar theory, of course. But this is just a bit of fun. So let's begin with Ratatouille, which was released in 2007. So I'm going to let Alan start with this one because I think this is going to be a very interesting opinion. I think me and Harry are going to be siding on the opposite side on this one. So
100%.
I can't wait to hear this. This is going to be hilarious.
Oh, I don't know about that, but okay, Ratatouille. Well, I'll just say flat out that I'm definitely in the minority because I don't like this movie.
What?
Most people do. Most people like Ratatouille. I mean, look, it's a Pixar movie, and it did very well at the box office. It was very critically acclaimed. It won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature. Blah blah blah. It has a whole lot of fans. I won't say it's the most popular of all the Pixar movies, but it certainly did well, and it certainly got. It was very well reviewed, but I know Harry's going to be in shock when I say this, but you know how badly Cars 2 was received? I'll take Cars 2 any day over Ratatouille.
What?
Yes. Okay. I will happily watch because I'm in the minority there too. I'm one of the very few people who actually really enjoys Cars 2. Okay, that's another thing. I know in the minority on that one, but I will happily watch Cars 2 over and over and over again than watch Ratatouille one more time. You know, because I'm sorry, I'm just not into Ratatouille.
You don't have to apologize for expressing an opinion. It's fine.
Yeah, like I said, I know I'm in the minority. Most people think I'm full of shit when I say I don't like Ratatouille, but I can't deny how I feel about it. I mean, look, like all Pixar movies, I mean, it's beautifully animated. You can never ever fault the animation with a Pixar film. Even if you hated Cars 2 with a passion, you still have to admit the animation in it was good. Okay, the animation is always good with Pixar. You can never fault the animation. And yeah, the animation in Ratatouille. I mean, yeah, I will say that all the views of Paris and all the vistas and all the location things we get to see of Paris and all the detailed animation like inside the restaurant and in the streets, and being that this is a movie that involves rats, the sewer line these particular rats have and all that. I mean, all of the animation is superb. So I have no faulting whatsoever the animation. But my problem with Ratatouille personally is with the story and with the characters, and they just did not interest me. And I also use as my defense what I experienced when I saw Ratatouille on opening day, because I went on opening day to see the film, and the whole theater was filled with kids and their parents. And I'm not bullshitting you when I say that the kids in the screening, they didn't seem to be all that interested in this movie either. I mean, the kids, they were talking, they were making noise. The parents had to keep telling them to shut up. I mean, it seems to me that Ratatouille is an animated film that adults can like a lot more than kids, because I don't think the kids in the theater were interested at all in this, which is why they were making so much noise and they were fidgeting in their seats and all of that. I mean, I remember this very vividly, that this was going on in the theater. I didn't really seem to care because I personally wasn't interested in what was happening on the screen either. I mean, the basic premise of the movie, in short, is that it's about a rat living in Paris who wants to become a chef, of all things, and the fact that they make the main character a rat. I don't know. I mean, look, I've got nothing against those cute domesticated rats that are meant to be pets. you know, those are fine. But then there's also the wild rats, the sewer rats that carry diseases, the kind you don't want to have in your home. And
well, Alan, actually, can I ask you? You know the fact that they have the colony of rats at the beginning, and they're living in the old woman's house. I would assume that they're non-domesticated because she doesn't seem to realize that they're there until the ceiling falls down and she sees all of the rats. I'm assuming that where Remy comes from, he's not a domesticated rat. Is that true?
Yeah, well, I mean, domesticated. I mean, he's never been kept as a pet. No one's kept him as a pet. I mean, he definitely comes from the streets. I mean, we see that he's a kind-hearted rat, but he's definitely a street rat for sure. But you know, I didn't find the character all that appealing. I didn't really give a damn if this rat fulfilled his lifelong dream of becoming a chef. I just didn't give a shit. You know, I mean, I did think those scenes where he envisions talking, I guess, to this late great human chef who appears to this rat in visions and kind of instructs him on what to
Gusteau, yeah, the big fat chef, yeah.
Yeah, he you know, the rat sees this human chef in visions, and you know, and tells him what to do, and all that. I mean, I thought those scenes were amusing, I guess. But I just didn't care for the story about the rat that wants to become a chef. I mean, who cares? I mean, I didn't care. And then the supporting characters.
Yeah, Remy cares.
Yeah, I didn't care for the supporting characters. The other human characters that are in the restaurant. Remy's fellow rats. I mean, it's just I don't know. The movie just kind of, you know, storytelling wise, the movie just kind of laid there on the screen for me, and you know, I just couldn't get into the story. I'm admiring the animation, of course. The movie looks beautiful, but I just could not get into the story. I didn't care about the characters. And then, of course, we have to talk about the nerdy supporting character, who I think they fashioned him out of, you know, they modeled him after Jerry Lewis, because what's the character's name? The klutzy chef in the restaurant. Linguini, thank you. Of course, how could I forget? Yeah, Linguini that Remy forms a friendship with, and yeah, the whole premise that I mean, and Linguini is this upcoming employee chef in the restaurant, and he and Remy form a friendship, and Remy helps him out by improving Linguini's job performances in the kitchen, so to speak. But the way that they do it, the notion that Remy can control Remy's movements by pulling on his hair, you know, getting on top of Linguini's head and pulling on his hair, as if you know, pulling levers or pulling switches, you know. No, he's pulling on Linguini's hair to get Linguini to do a better job at cooking, is ridiculous. If I pulled on your hair, could I get you to do something? You know, I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
I mean, you could get me to say.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That whole bit about it is ridiculous. Just pull on his hair, and he can control his movements in the kitchen.
I mean,
it's ridiculous.
He didn't end up with nits in his hair.
Yeah, I just didn't buy it, and the character, of course, is so annoying because, you know, he's a klutz, and he reminds me of, you know, Jerry Lewis, you know, that you know, kind of thing, you know, you know, it's just
whoa,
I mean, it's Jerry Lewis back from the dead, you know. Came out long before Jerry Lewis died, but anyway, I mean, he's modeled after Jerry Lewis, I think, because he's just such a klutz in this movie. You know, his shtick gets tiresome after a while, and then of course you've got the character of the restaurant critic, who comes in at the end, and he plays like this really pinnacle part of the story that I think has something to do with, you know, if this restaurant is going to stay in business or not, and if everybody in the restaurant are going to keep their jobs or not, and all hinges on this this one restaurant critic liking a particular dish that the restaurant served, if my memory serves me correct. I didn't care for him either.
Yeah.
And they try to shoehorn his backstory in, I guess something he experienced as a boy or whatever. And I simply did not care. I just didn't care. It was just nothing, you know. And I did go back and watch the movie for my review video about it. The first time that I had seen the film in over a decade since it first came out, or something like that. What year did this movie come out? Was
2007.
Okay, so it had been about a decade since I had previously seen it. So I rented it online and I gave the movie another chance, and you know, my reaction to it was exactly the same. I don't hate the movie. I mean, it's certainly watchable, and again, the animation is beautiful, but I just didn't care for the story. I didn't care for the characters, and I know I'm in the minority. I know it's a very beloved Pixar film, and it has a lot of fans, but I'm just not one of them. And you know, I hear Cars 2 get slammed from stem to stern on a regular basis, but I'll gladly watch Cars 2 over Ratatouille, as crazy as that sounds. But I really do like Cars 2. I don't like Ratatouille. That's it. I'm just being honest, you know. So I don't hate Ratatouille, but there's no doubt in my mind that it's my least favorite of all the Pixar movies.
Shocking.
Something like Monsters University comes close, you know, because it was decent, but it was a pretty thankless prequel to the classic original of Monsters Inc. So maybe that one would be.
Sorry, you are a little bit last bit.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
The signal seems to be a bit.
Okay. Can you hear me? Am I coming through?
Yeah. We can hear you. Also, didn't you? He was long.
Okay, your voice is sounding choppy now, Ollie. What did you say?
Did you say in your review Ratatouille was too long?
Yeah, it was kind of too long for me. Yeah. That's another thing. I don't think the movie broke the 2-hour barrier, but I think it comes close. Is that correct? Because it felt long to me watching Ratatouille.
I think
it was long.
10 minutes. It's a lot.
Yeah, but it felt kind of long to me. The pacing of it was kind of long. So I think that's another criticism that I have on it, is that it felt kind of long to me. But anyway, just to wrap it all up, I mean, I don't hate the movie, and it is beautifully animated, but the story and the characters did zero for me, not a thing. It is arguably my least favorite of all the Pixar films, if I had to pick my least favorite. I know it has a lot of fans, but I'm just not one of them. I'm sorry. It's the Pixar film that gives me the least amount of pleasure. If I had to pick the one, it would be Ratatouille. So I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Ratatouille a 4 out of 10. Sorry.
Harsh.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm sorry.
What was it? 5 out of 10?
Yeah. Well, lots of people hate Cars
Sorry.
2, and I like Cars 2. So, so now here's the flip side of my opinion.
Sorry,
Cars
2. Sorry. What was your rating?
My rate, a 4 out of 10.
4.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Primarily for the animation. The animation alone deserves a 4, I think, but the rest of the movie I just didn't care for it. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Honestly, don't apologize. It's your opinion.
Yeah.
So we now
Okay.
and Harry. What do you think of Ratatouille?
Sorry, Alan. I'm not on the same wavelength with you. I'm siding with Ollie here. To me,
Okay.
to me, yeah, to me, Ratatouille, it has. If this movie was cooked by a chef at Pixar, it has all the ingredients of a of a wonderful Pixar classic for me. I I have always I've always been so fond of Ratatouille, and 11 years later, it's entirely holed up in my and it's still in my top 10 favorite Pixar movies. The thing that I related to about this movie is just not just its a gorgeous animation. This movie captures the magic of Paris beautifully in its visuals, and I. My mum and my sister visited the Ratatouille ride at Disneyland Paris, which is awesome. And yeah, and the magic came back there. And but to me, this I relate to this movie because of its theme of talent. Remy, he's such a he's such a gift. He's such a gift. He's a gifted protagonist, and because he has a passion for cooking, and just as I have a passion for my art, so I related to him fully, and I love that the protagonist here is a rat, because that helps the movie's message. Anyone can cook, from Gusto, meaning talent can come from anywhere, and so it's so and I for one, I don't find Linguini annoying. I find him a freaking hilarious. Yep. He, yeah, he's yeah. I yeah. And his most and the moment I laughed at most of all was with the moment where when Remy was in Linguini's suit at the restaurant, and when Remy was biting Linguini constantly, and then Linguini takes his shirt off, revealing all the bite marks, and he's like, "Gah, gah, da." God, this now Pixar, you need more comic relief characters like this more often, and I yeah and I bought the friendship with Remy and Linguini. They both needed one another to succeed in their dreams, and yeah.
You know what would have been more believable is if Remy wanted to be a hairdresser instead of a
Oh
chef.
yeah, oh yeah, because
then it would have made more sense.
Exactly. He seems to have a talent not just for cooking, but he can move Linguini just by tugging on his hair. But don't get me wrong, I think that works. I've tugged on my hair and I can move my arms easy enough.
Yeah,
So
because your arms are moving towards your hair. That's why.
oh yeah, right, I guess so. I guess Linguini was one of those rare humans with nerves in his hair that can move his arms like a puppet. But
he's basically a rag doll. The way he moves around, he's he's like a flopsy bunny. He just can't stay still. Whoa! And even when he's when he's told to go out and dispose of Remy, and then he goes on his bike, and then he's like can't hold the jar. He's like going whoa whoa whoa.
Oh yeah, exactly. He's like a walking fishbone. He's that floppy, and also. And as for Colette, she's one of Pixar's most badass female characters yet. When she's helping Linguini, in the kitchen the hard way. Keep your station clean, or I will kill you. And yeah, and even though, yeah, yeah, and even though Remy and Colette have different ideologies on how Linguini should cook in the kitchen, but I like that when the stakes get higher and the future of the restaurant is at stakes, that Remy, Linguini, and Colette they learn to put aside their different ways to save the restaurants, and also I found, even though the chef Skinner, he may not be the best Pixar villain ever, but he's still a entertaining an antagonist for what he is, and I love his how he just can't figure out how Linguini, this moron, is capable of success. Literally, he's mind blown by it. And yeah, I like how Gusto in this movie is a Jiminy Cricket's conscience like character to Remy for the majority of it, inspiring Remy to make the right decisions, and also yeah and Anton Ego he's the most underrated character in this movie, voiced by Peter O'Toole, and I love his change of heart. You think Anton Ego is going to be an antagonist at first, but a decent man after he tries Remy's ratatouille. It reminds him of his past when his mother made him some ratatouille, he's and once he learns that it was Remy that made him the ratatouille, he finally realizes what Gusto's moral anyone can cook meant, and his speech in the finale, it's one of the greatest moments in any Pixar movie. I'll go as far as saying, my mum's favorite moments is when Remy's rat colony are cooking in the kitchen together. That is a remarkable, that is a wonderful achievement in animation itself. This is totally best animated movie of 2007. Well deserved that Academy Award, and it deserves more fans. More people should bring up Ratatouille whenever they reflect on Pixar to me. So yeah, and Brad Bird's this may be his weakest movie at Pixar, but he's still an expert at directing classic family movies, and Ratatouille's no exception. So yeah, I'd give Ratatouille a 10 out of 10 and 5 stars out of 5.
Oh,
Yeah.
blimey! 10
Yeah.
out of 10. Woo! You really think it's that good?
Yep. It's a masterpiece, just like one of Remy's recipes.
Ratatouille. Well, I kind of on the fence. I'm in the middle. This movie, love it. Al doesn't like it. Strange. I mean, oh, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, your voice was dropping out, Ollie.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah, try again, Ollie. Oh, well. You still there, Harry?
Yeah, still here.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Okay, so I guess we're still being recorded right now, so
Yep.
we'll wait for Ollie to rejoin the conversation.
Yep.
His voice was dropping out. Were you noticing that?
Yeah, I know. I fully noticed it. Yeah, his his hangouts may be malfunctioning. I have no idea.
Could be. So we'll see. Come back, Holly. We're waiting for you. Let's see. Do 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 do. Hope he's doing all right. Sorry, listener. We're waiting for Ollie to rejoin the conversation.
Oh,
there he is.
Returned.
Oh, we still live?
Yep.
Hey, Ollie.
Oh, thank God for that. I'm so sorry about that, guys. I think my Wi-Fi was playing up, so I've switched over to my phone. Because my computer's playing up. Anyway, so let's start again. So, Ratatouille. I'm on the fence. I think this movie's good. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's good. It's certainly not my favorite Pixar movie by any means, but I certainly don't despise it either. Ratatouille, as I said in my Pixar ranking, strikes me as a Pixar movie that's very strange. In a way, it doesn't really know what it wants to be. It's kind of weird. The whole concept of it. I mean, I know what they're trying to do with this whole rat in the kitchen thing. They with the rat wanting to become a chef and proving, the message of the movie is great. I do like the message of this movie. The fact that it encourages, doesn't matter where you're from, anyone can cook. I mean, really, anybody needs to cook because it's almost a life skill. But I agree with Alan in the sense that the way that the story is told is not really the best. I don't think it's Pixar's strongest storytelling. First of all, the whole concept of Linguini being controlled by Remy by having his hair tugged. Seriously? We're going to indulge this? Like what? That concept has never sat well with me. I mean, every time I watch Ratatouille, I just think, what? what is this? I mean, there's that scene when they're in Linguini's flat and he's blindfolded and Remy is trying to help him, trying to teach him, trying to control his hair and then trying to get him to chop the onions and make the food. Oh, okay, first of all, why have you blindfolded him? What? Why? What? Why? Why have you blindfolded him? There's no need to do that. Surely
to help him concentrate without looking, I guess.
True, but you're kind of making it twice as hard, really. You may as well have him at least, or at least, I don't know. It's just silly to me. I mean, I will agree. The animation is beautiful, and Paris looks outstanding. I mean, the reveal of Paris is great. I mean, when Remy scurries up the pipes and then he climbs to the roof and then he can see Paris. That's cool. And I do like Remy's interactions with the imaginary Gusto, the big, fat, jolly chef, the one who's died in the story. And I like that he is essentially Remy's voice of reason throughout the film. That's good. I mean, I like the character of Remy. He's quite cool. Although it's just the whole idea of the film, the whole rat becoming a chef, it is a bit strange. Like, kind of gets a bit lost in its that the film is a bit too long. It's trying too hard. It's trying to tell like two different stories. Like there's this whole story about the restaurant and the evil sous chef trying to expose